Hi there. We know that Terraforming Mars is one of the hottest, if not the hottest game on PGG list, and probably on many gamers lists as one of the top anticipated games of Essen 2016. And I know that there are many reviews and other previews, but I think that looking through the designer's eyes, how he explains the game, how he looks at the game, and how he adores the game himself is rather interesting. So, hi.
Hello.
So you're Jacob.
I am.
You're one of the 10 brothers that I know.
Yes, we are 10 brothers in the family, and we all love games.
That's a lot. At least you can play 10-player games now, party games and such.
Yeah, but we are spread out now in Sweden, living in different cities, so it's not so often that we all meet.
So here is like a good place to meet.
It's an excellent place for us too.
That's great. But you want to talk with us about the Terraforming Mars as well, yeah?
Yeah.
So, what's this game about? Some briefly how you play it.
Yeah, so Terraforming Mars is about making Mars habitable to human life. And our thinking is that this is taking place like 400 years in the future. Mm-hmm. Well, that's the start of the game, is in 400 years in the future. Because the game takes a number of rounds when you know, normal game rounds.
Yeah.
And each round we call a generation, because I estimate that it's maybe like 30 to 50 years long. So in total, to make Mars habitable, it will be about 400 or 500 years.
Which means that the ones who started this great job will never see...
No, exactly. It's a really long-term project, which it would be in reality. Since I'm a science teacher and I love scientific science and science fiction, this has been one of the main focuses. One of the main inspirations for the game has been the Red Mars trilogy by Kim Stanley Robinson. A great book series which is about the initial colonization of Mars and the terraforming process of Mars.
Cool.
It really is, and it also has a scientific focus. So I really wanted that also in the game. So the game is about terraforming Mars, and it's. Just wanted to delve. There's so much to do, so many things you can do, so much in the setting, so much about Mars.
Yeah.
So I wanted it all in the game. Right? I can't help myself, and I'm a really card gamer myself. So I love card games.
Oh, me too.
And one of the greatest things is that you can do anything with a card. So I made a card for importing advanced greenhouse gases from Earth. And that will increase the heat production so you can raise the temperature.
Yeah.
Fusion power is a great way to get energy for your industries. You can redirect a giant ice asteroid, put motors on it and direct it at Mars. And then you will both get heat from the impact and from the released gases, but you will also get the water from the ice, which is both needed on Mars.
Water is really needed on Mars.
You can have mining rights, of course.
Yeah.
You can build a research outpost. You can do anything. You can think of anything, and it's probably in the game.
How many unique cars does the game have? Or is it all unique? Or there are some...
All the cars are unique.
All the cards?
All the cards, and it's 208 different unique cards.
Wow.
Plus, you have 12 different unique corporations that you can play also. So each player has a corporation, and the idea is that on Earth there is now a world government that is, it's not so bad that it could be, but it has decided that humanity needs a new home. Mars has already been begun to be colonized, and we just want to make it habitable so people can live there without danger. So these corporations, they join the terraforming project, and for each contribution they do to the terraforming, you need to add oxygen to the atmosphere, you need to raise the temperature, you need to put oceans on the board, and when all these three are done, then the game ends and Mars is habitable.
So it's like a cooperation in towards the future and towards the Terraforming Mars, but it's still a really competitive game, as I understand.
Exactly, because everyone is contributing to these goals, and each time you do it, your Terraform rating will go up. And these are points, and it's also income during the game. So you have a really good incentive to do it.
Oh yeah.
And the different corporations have different avenues to do it. But you also get income from your player board. You can increase your like steel production. You have this mining rights and so on. So you have a lot of different resources that you can contribute. Like mega credits is currency, it can use for anything. Steel can be used to build things on Mars, like the research outpost, because it has the building icon. Oh. So a lot of the theme is also in what icons you have on the different cards. Titanium is typically used for space building. So you can use it when you do the giant ice asteroid. You can use it as money. Oh. Plants can be used, like in science. Plants do photosynthesis, yes, and that releases oxygen. So when you place a greenery tile like this, you also increase the oxygen, and that increases your terraform rating. You can have energy, which is used for different kinds of industries. If you don't use it, it goes to heat, which is not so good on Earth, but on Mars it's good because it's too cold here. So heat can be spent to increase the temperature, which also is rewarded on the terraform rating. So there are many different resources. It's card driven, and it's all thematic. And that is also why we wanted this bright look. We have white border cards. We have these light gray panels. We didn't want a dark dystopian future,
and it's
scientific
to read as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
The cards.
So we wanted this kind of scientific look and a feeling and approach to it.
Science fiction, yeah.
There's also on the board, of course. If you look here, when you place a tile, you can get different kinds of resources. So if you place close to the equator here, you will get plant resources because it's warmer, so plants more easily grow. So if you have activity here, you will have easier to have plant life. And some areas you have mountains where you can get a lot of minerals, and some areas are interesting from a scientific point of view, and then you are able to get kind of cards.
So some extras, yeah.
Yeah.
How did you go with the? How did you go with like the production of? I see there are some like gold, golden cubes, and like the gold, the whatever it's called, the bronze.
Yeah.
How did you come up with this one?
I think it was my brother Enoch actually, because it's not so much part of the theme, because you use these for every different kind of resource, and what they are is just depending on where you put them. So the copper ones are 1, the silver means 5, and this means 10. Yeah. So if you have like this, it means you have 16 titanium. Oh, yeah. And this is 1 steel. This is 2 plants. And so on.
Well, that looks a little bit shiny, but on the other hand, looks like minerals.
Yeah, so it's good for resources, and we think it just looks beautiful and sets it apart from many other games. Also, we want this numeric system for resources because you have 6 different resources, and you cannot tell in advance which resource you are going to have a lot of. Yeah. Mega credits you can have a really big chunk of. But some games you have a really lot of steel, and sometimes you can have an awful lot of heat. Yeah. So you need, in this way, you can compensate for some games. One resource is very scarce, and others are overflowing. Mm-hmm. So if we had like heat tokens, maybe they would run out, and that is not possible in this game. This game is open. Oh, yeah. It's thematic. You can always do more.
So every time you terraform Mars, it becomes something different. Like the terrain becomes very different each time you play the game. Yeah?
Exactly. Sometimes there's mostly developed on the more northern side. Sometimes on the west, no, south, or the east or the west. Yeah. So it's very different. These oceans, they are of course placed in the low elevation areas, which are marked in blue here, because water flows downhill. Okay. Yeah. Of course, but there are 12 different places, and you have 9 ocean tiles. So even the oceans are not the same place every game. So you wanted to create enormous variability within the game, and not repeat yourself during the round, during the game too much, as you can see. No, because you need to focus on different things depending on what the others do. Yes. Yes.
Where's the interaction of the game? Interaction is...
Exactly. For example, if people are placing oceans here, oceans give bonus if you place other tiles next to them.
Yeah.
So that means that other players will probably build next to the oceans.
So you influence each other a lot.
Yeah. And when there are forests like this, then someone will want to make a city next to it, because cities get points for having forests. Yes. The cities
Really?
get points for being next to forests, even though it's someone else's forests. So you try to gain advantage over each other on the board, and it makes for a really, a really nice competition aspect to the game.
It's interesting because the Euro games sometimes have a solitaire multiplayer and have rather a passive interaction type.
Yeah.
Where you don't. But I like how. If you build up to something, it influences other players a lot, and they will build up depending on what you have.
I would say the design philosophy of this game is that theme drives everything. Okay?
That's cool.
So I've showed you the theme is always in the cards. It's also on the board. Like you saw the low elevation areas. On the equator you have more plant life. Building next to oceans gives you actually mega credits back. Because it's more profitable to be next to water.
Of course.
Having cities next to greenery tiles, it's good because people want to have some nice place next to their living.
Yeah, and of course they want to have better oxygen and such.
Exactly.
Oh, I have an extra question now. What is this? This is like a extra thing that you can get, or is it like a prototype? Because I see this like an insert, like a tray for the tokens.
Exactly. What you get in the game is this. It's just a flat card, and it works fine. But some people have they wanted to have a little bit more stability. So, for example, if you have like this, it can be that you push it here and then you have to put it back. It's not the end of the world because you usually get it from the card, so you can see what cards you have and you can recreate the situation mostly.
But this is really cool.
Yeah, and actually there are at least 3 different manufacturers for different kinds of overlays for this game. So we have actually created a new market for Terraforming Mars accessories.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, so actually we contacted one of them and bought a set, so we wanted it ourselves, and we can also sell to customers here.
Oh, so you are selling here in Essen, and later it will be available through your website, something like that?
We don't sell via website, but the other companies will have it for ordering.
Oh yeah, from some insert makers or something like that, definitely as well. Yeah, that's really cool. And some future questions. Maybe there is an expansion on your mind that you want already to integrate with the base game, or were you thinking about something to expand?
Yes, of course.
If you can talk about it or not.
Yes, of course. As I said, this is such a rich theme. This base game is really focused on the terraforming and on the corporations, but there are so much else to explore in this setting.
More of the Phobos thing, for example?
Yeah, Phobos Space Haven, that's a place where you can place a special city. But like people are asking, what's happening on the other side of Mars? This is, you just show one side of Mars here. So we have several expansion ideas. I don't want to spoil what we are going to do next. But
there is something in mind already.
If you think of anything we could expand, it's probably in the works already.
That's really cool. I hope to hear about it very soon. We haven't tried it ourselves yet, but from everything we hear, from everything I hear right now, this is going to be awesome. It's my style of Eurogame, totally. And if you are the similar taste to me, then even if I haven't tried it, I recommend it, and you can try it. And we'll probably want to get one of these as well for us as well. Yeah, so that's really cool. And this is basically sold out right now on the first day of Essen.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's incredible. You got a lot of hype, but you will have much more second print run, third print run probably very soon.
We are already working on the second print run with our partners because they also sold out.
So it means that it will be in the stores.
Yes,
very soon.
Well, not very soon, but I hope it will be before Christmas.
Yeah, that's very soon, to be honest.
All right.
Before Christmas is great. Secret Santa coming and such.
I hope so, but I have no idea if it can actually happen. So we will see. We are working on it very hard.
That's really cool. Yeah. Thank you very much. I like how you approached the explanation as well. That's why we ask designers, because it's much cooler to see how you feel about the game yourself when you design it. So thank you very much once more.
Thank you.
Thanks to all the 5 brothers who are here and the other 5 who are not here, but probably they helped you with playtesting as well.
Yeah, it's of course they do. And they get feedback, and so we have different ideas, and we argue a lot with each other because I have a very strong will, and the others also have strong wills. But that means that we force each other to consider new ideas and approaches and aspects of the game, and it really makes it better. We also got a lot of good feedback from our beta testers from 2 years ago. We had drafted beta testers here in Essen, and their feedback has also really helped the game to be the best.
No, that's really cool.
But as with everything, it was I, as the game designer, made the choices after the feedback, of course.
Oh yeah.
Well,
of course. Yeah.
So we really thank anything, and also our partners have also given great feedback.
Yeah, Stronghold Games, I know this, the SPIEL, or there's a German publisher as well.
Yeah, Schwerkraft.
Yeah.
And our Polish publisher, Rebel Games.
Oh, Rebel Games is a Polish publisher. That's really cool news for... I know that some people from Poland are watching us as well, so that's really cool news. Rebel will be doing the Polish version. That's really cool. But thank you once more. There was a lot of questions. It was a longer video, but I think it was awesome to watch. It will be awesome to watch, at least for many viewers. Thank you once more, Jacob.
Thank you.
And we see you maybe at some other time or next year in Essen, where you have your expansion ready.
Yeah, well, we hope to have it next year. Next year.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.